Hello again. Before anybody feels tempted to make any tracks about pearl necklaces, this white effect is part of the collar of the jumper. Every so often, one reads something so stupendously mad that one wonders who in their right mind could possibly believe such a thing, even for a split second. So it was that when I read that the Daily Telegraph had, as a result of a Freedom of Information request, uncovered some of the diversity training being delivered by the Bank of England in London, I read with incredulity the following from a presentation used by that institution. Staff were told that research showed that racism and discrimination contribute to poor health among minorities and people of colour. It goes on to claim that this results in increased risk of various diseases, including heart disease and diabetes. Examples are given of so-called microaggressions which can cause these illnesses, things such as asking where somebody is really from. Now, it is, of course, quite true that black people are more prone to heart disease and diabetes than white people, but that is, of course, nothing at all to do with racism. Here are a few statistics which I have handy from the United States, which is readier to divulge such information than the British National Health Service. The figures are uh, date back a few years, but they're exactly the same now. I dare say that viewers can Google this subject for themselves. 4 out of 5 African American women are overweight or obese. 80% are overweight or obese. In 2018, non-Hispanic black people were 1.3 times more likely to be obese compared to non-Hispanic whites. And in 2018, African American women were 50% more likely to be obese than non-Hispanic white women. Overall, black women were 2.5 times more likely to be overweight as compared to white women. The situation is pretty much the same in Britain as it is in the United States. That is to say that black people are more likely to be overweight and obese than white people. This is due not to racism, to diet. If you eat lots of fried chicken and hamburgers, neglecting to eat fresh fruit and vegetables, then you're apt to grow fat. Things like diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, and so on are all associated with being overweight. In other words, black people, both in this country and America, have high rates of diabetes and heart disease, not because people are in the habit of asking them where they're really from, but because they're more likely to be greedy and immoderate eaters than white people. This is unfortunate and certainly reduces the average life expectancy of black people, but it can be hardly laid at my door as a white person. I am not forcing black people to eat unhealthy foods, and if their health is damaged by this habit, then that's not really my fault either. And to suggest that the diabetes from which they are more likely to suffer than me is a consequence of white racism is both absurd and offensive.